Welcome back, guys. I'm with my boy Ashton here. Ashton is a avid German car enthusiast, which, we'll have to convert him at some point. So he's gonna ask me some questions. He's looking at purchasing a few cars, probably within the next year, give or take
6 to 8 months.
And everybody knows, all my friends, they all come to me because I'll get you straight. I'll tell you how to build your car, and we'll build it to something that's sustainable and will probably last. Maybe not, but probably will last. So, Ashton, take it away. What do you want to ask me?
Okay, so let's just start basic, bare bones. I have two things that I'm deciding on. I'm either deciding to go the C63S E63 route, or potentially towards G80, or even potentially something along the lines of that. Maybe a new M2, potentially M4, something like that. What are your thoughts between those two different models? And I'm trying to get, obviously max performance, but I also want to look like a baller.
So the Mustang GT5. First things first, my audience is majority American, but we can all appreciate that the E63S from Mercedes-Benz is one hell of a vehicle. It is undeniable. The G80, the S58, the performance is god tier. It's unbelievable what those cars are doing. There's some that are running high sevens, low eights in the quarter with full interiors, which is unbelievable. So what I would do, knowing that you want to look like a baller, of course, and retain that performance, and I know you told me rawness is very important in the vehicle. You don't want it to feel too neutered, too numb. And so my immediate recommendation would be, I think for someone like you, BMW M2 would be fantastic. And if you wanted to go super saloon, the E63 has a lot more soul. I love the M5 competition, but the M5 competition objectively is the better one. But which one? Sometimes buying the better car isn't the best thing for you. The E63 has more soul, and it has a better soundtrack. And honestly, I don't know about you, but I see more M5 comps than E63s. You seldom do you see an E63.
Yeah.
You also don't see an M2 done tastefully anymore. Mm-hmm. Usually I believe it's the G87 M2 that is the new one. It's done. It's usually stock, and there are a lot of things that you can do to BMWs. So if you had to narrow it down and you had to buy a car right now, what's it going to be? Because I'll tell you how to build it.
Mustang.
See, I know, he's a smart guy, but he's not that smart.
I'm still getting my IQ a little bit increased slowly, but no, we were talking about M2s before, and I love M2s. I rented an M2 before I drove. I did a road trip in one, and it was absolutely incredible. Even though the guy on Turo absolutely hated me for it, but I'm curious, I can go get an M2 right now for let's say in the range of 60 to 75. Canadian dollars, right? So for the American viewers, let's say 45 to 55-ish.
And that's for a low mileage, good shape car.
What would you do if you were me, if I were to get one and I would want to, get the performance upgrades, maybe some exterior upgrades, make it look pimp, make it sound good, the whole wazoo? If I wanted to do it, I don't want to spend an arm and a leg, but I'm happy not spending, I'll spend maybe 5 to 7. What would you say?
So if you're going 2021, I believe that's previous gen. I'm not too up to date.
Then the 2022.
Or I'm not even too sure what the year. I don't know what year they came out with the G87, but for the viewers, G87 is what he's looking at.
Yeah.
So the G87, it honestly comes very complete out the box. I believe with, depending on what model year, I know the latest year, I think 2026, they upped the power on the ZF equipped models. I believe they're making 473, which puts it right on par with the entry-level G80, and which is up from the 453 or the 452, whichever it was from the previous launch G87. So Ashton here, he's not car diseased like I am, where he has to completely change every parameter of the car. So how would I build an M2? So right off the bat, I would probably try and find Ashton a G87 anywhere between the realm of 65 to 72,000 Canadian, that is. You probably could get a nice one between 4 to 12,000 kilometers on it. Probably a rich guy owned it, probably never redlined it, and then he traded it in for a Mustang GT. And then what I would do is
trade it in for an E63.
For an E63. That's probably where he's going to end up. But first things first, with that kind of car, and I think this is a lesson that a lot of people can apply to whatever car they have, enjoy the car out the box first. Learn its limits. Find out, because the best recipe for modding a car is to fix on what you feel the manufacturer left out on. So in my case with my Mustang, I honestly thought the S650 24 Plus was very good out the box. I wanted to just take it up a notch, so I went with an OEM Plus kind of vibe with that build. And that's what I'm doing until I decide to go crazy. But with Ashton, OEM Plus is going to be the words that you want. So I would, right out the box, I would probably not touch power. I would lower it, of course. It does have adaptive dampers, but lowering it will give you that look that you want. Also, it will seriously negate the body roll right out the box. And I would tell you my prescription would be to try the car for a few months, see how it is, then start throwing power at it. Because the best part about BMWs, as we all know, is they come with so much meat on the bone from factory left. Whereas a lot of cars come strung out. No, Beamer is dangerously underrated power levels. So for someone like you, I believe the stock power of the G87 is, call it 450 horsepower. That's probably wheel knowing BMW. So it's probably in the fives. You could do something like intakes, front mount intakes, and charge pipes, and just tune it. The basic tune. See, that'll wake up the car significantly. It'd probably be very quick for you until you probably get used to the power. And then obviously I would go with a catless downpipe, right? So for numbers wise, we're probably looking at a build between 5,000 to 7,000 Canadian, and you don't have to do that all at once, but that would significantly transform the car, and you don't have to do anything to the motor. You don't got to open the motor up, and you don't got to upgrade the turbos, which is a huge expense.
Okay, like let's say hypothetically, this may be a stupid question, but let's say hypothetically, I'm like, yo, no budget.
Okay.
I want to make this crazy. Like, let's pimp this out. Let's make this dope exterior performance, like whole wazoo. Okay. And you had to do that. Like, Amex black card on your lap.
Okay.
What would you do? The M2.
So before I even touch power, I would maximize the chassis as much as possible. So I would tell you to get a carbon trunk, carbon fenders, carbon hood. Make sure when he bought one, he got a carbon roof. And I would ultimately get some forged wheels as well. If he's going M2 and he's going full kill mode and he wants to turn up the power significantly.
How much does that, like, the weight of that? That's just taking weight off, right?
Power to weight is everything.
So, like, how many pounds, like, that would only be, like, what, a couple hundred?
A couple hundred is enough to make a huge difference.
Yeah? So
absolutely.
If I have a fat guy in the back seat, I'm not going fast.
Well, the only people that should be in your seat are like a really nice broad or something. Power to weight is a huge, huge, huge thing. And something that you probably haven't realized too is when you upgrade to lightweight wheels, forged wheels, if you're giving me your black Amex, so to say, we go with the lightest possible wheels. Mm. When you turn the car, you're going to feel it immediately that it's lighter. Mm. It's going to be way more nimble. And your acceleration just will be better. You're stripping the weight. It's like, let me liken this to something that you would understand. If you lost 40 pounds, don't you think your vertical would go up?
Yeah.
Totally. Right? Sometimes losing weight is the difference between someone dunking on a 10-foot rim versus not. So there's that component.
How much does the weight of the wheels versus like the weight on the body matter? Does that
both are important.
Both equally important?
Unsprung mass is extremely important in the car.
Okay.
And then what I would do is, honestly, even though you're giving me an unlimited budget for this build, I would ultimately recommend going max effort with what comes out of the engine. So upgraded intercooler, intakes, charge pipes, inlets, downpipes, full exhaust, suspension mods. See if that would probably net you pretty close to 700 wheel horsepower, which is a lot.
That'd be a beast.
Don't listen to those TikTok people who say anything under 1,000 is slow. They're slow in the head, because 700 wheel horsepower is very fast. That's probably going to get you low 10s, maybe even high 9s quarter mile. And that on the street is hardcore overkill. Hardcore. But if you wanted to go that extra mile and really turn it up, I think the S58, I know a lot of guys are testing out the limits of that engine, and it can handle turbo upgrades pretty well. That would be the next step, is changing out the turbos, which again is a lot of work. And for someone like me, I wouldn't be comfortable just swapping out the turbos and not doing some engine rebuilding at some point, just because when you're it's basic knowledge. When you come with 450 horsepower from the factory and you start to make 900, 1,000, you can't expect the car to handle double, triple the horsepower and just take it. It's not going to happen. So that's what I would ultimately prescribe.
What's this may be a stupid question as well, but what's the sellability like if I were to do that?
Horrible.
I'd be just burning cash. Basically.
If you went with OEM Plus, which is what I can almost guarantee that'll be enough for you, right? You would be able to the best part about OEM Plus is everything can be reverted back to stock. You can sell your parts and make some of the cost back. Or you could be like those guys on Facebook Marketplace, God bless your souls, is you sell your beautiful project car that you probably built very well, and you're trying to find that perfect buyer, and that perfect buyer is out there. It's just a matter of waiting, but sometimes you want to sell it quickly.
But big question. This is the main thing. Will it impress the Huz?
Absolutely.
Absolutely or absolutely not, because it's not a Mustang.
Yeah, true question. Since it's a German car, they'll definitely won't be impressed when it's on the side of the road and you're calling a trailer.